there's this trifecta that we've developed in terms of allies, where it's legal, your chief marketing officer, and your kind of communications teams working with IR and finance. After that moment, when you have to kind of start operating as a public company, to begin telling that financial story, that's the kind of muscle that I think you need to kind of strengthen as you enter life as a public entity.
Oftentimes, the role is not just internal communications and external communications and list day. For me, it was everything from, we're writing the business section of the S1 to you got to go find consumers to do consumer reviews.
And so my focus was really what I think every communicator's focus should be, which is to build out a robust communications plan that is targeting your main customers and that is focusing on building out your consumer brand, your customer brand, your employment brand. If you do those two things, your financial brand will follow. We internally would set the stage for what's going to be our strategy for the year. What are the OKRs? What are the 5 things we're going to do? And we would be disciplined about making sure that when we talked internally or that when we talked externally every 90 days, we were giving updates on what were those 5 things that we were doing, and we made sure that we did not have mission creep.
When you think about earnings, there's often ups and downs. It's a roller coaster at times, and you want your employees to not focus as much on that.
It's completely unrealistic to think that employees are not going to be looking at the stock price. We understand that. We don't want people to necessarily focus on that as a proxy for how the company is doing. But I think for us, we, tactically speaking, felt like you just flipped the switch. People were so used to being in a private company, and now they're public. Many of the people who are there, too, have never worked at a public company. There's a lot of people who have only worked at private companies. So we did spend some time educating people on what does this all mean.
Long-term value comes from living up to what your strategic plan is as a business, not by looking at the fluctuation of your stock price every day.
Let's explain it. Let's provide some context and information. Let's try to help people think about it, because we know if we don't, they're going to fill in the blanks. And let's do what we can to keep them focused on the longer term mission.
How important it is to focus on the customer has to be priority number 1 for your business. Priority number 2 is focus on keeping that employee culture that made you great, still something that you should cherish as an institution.
It's actually really important to convince stakeholders that whether times are good or bad, you should be out there talking to media.
I was trying to engage CNBC and Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal prior to going public just as much as I was afterwards.
It's really disingenuous. It's really bad if you're only going when, hey, earnings was amazing and like things are going great. It doesn't work that way.